In other words, I combine uh, used pods from different batches and make vanilla that way. Oh, but what vessel am I putting it in? I skipped that part of my preparations. Okay, I'm going to go look for something. Well, let's hope it works. Hello, friend. Welcome to Safe at Homestead. If this is your first time visiting me here, my name is Elena, and I'm super excited to have you here with me. Thanks for stopping in. Today, we are doing a couple of relatively simple projects here in the kitchen. The first one is super, super easy, and it is vanilla. I have not made vanilla since September of 2022. And when I made this vanilla, I made 3 pints. This is all that I have left, so it's time to make more vanilla. Really, really easy to make vanilla. And the other project is salve and a cream. I've made lots of salves for my skin and I've made lots of body butters for my skin, but I have never used tallow. So in this project, we're using the tallow that we rendered back in August. And this is what it looks like. Now, when it comes to making tallow for skincare products, a lot of people render their tallow with water because they say they get a purer product and it is there's a minimal smell. Well, I didn't want to do that because it just seemed too involved. I didn't want to take the time to do that. So I just did mine in the crock pot, low and slow, if you recall. And I think it turned out wonderfully. I have hardly any smell here. Very, very almost imperceptible smell. Okay, so come along with me and let's work on these two projects together. Okay, so here I have my tallow in a pot of water. I am turning it really low. I had it on medium, but I'm turning it even lower because I don't want any splashing to occur. Um, I was debating about taking some of the water out, but I only have about a quarter of the way up with water. I just don't want anything to boil because then it will splash and get water into my tallow. And since I am not using any preservatives of any kind, I don't want water in my tallow. So we'll just let it simmer really low until it's liquefied. While we wait for the tallow to melt, let's go ahead and get started with our vanilla. I am doing a voiceover here because I am not sure what happened to my audio. So I buy my vanilla pods from Amazon. This is a package of 10 grade A Madagascar vanilla pods. They smell good. So I'm going to take 5 of them and cut them in half. I'm cutting them in half because my my jar is short. If I had a taller container, I wouldn't be cutting them. So here I'm just holding on to the tip and splitting them in half, not cutting them in two, just splitting down the half or the middle. The hardest thing about making vanilla is waiting. You have to have patience to let the alcohol get infused with the vanilla. I don't remember how many pods I used, so I'm checking here, and I used 5. So I'm going to put all 5 into this jar, and then we'll cover with our bourbon. You have a few options as to what kind of alcohol you can use to make your vanilla. I prefer spiced rum. Last time I made one with vodka, one with spiced rum, and one with bourbon. And the one that I have on the counter there, that's the bourbon. So I think here I was talking about what happens with the pods after I finish the vanilla. I don't get rid of the pods. So I think here I'm saying that when I finish using the vanilla, I reuse the pods. The reason that, so what I do is after that vanilla is finished, I will just pour the alcohol of choice on those pods again and make more vanilla. Sometimes I just add pods from another container into into another container. In other words, I combine uh, used pods from different batches and make vanilla that way. The reason I don't have the pods from the other 2 pints that I made is because I cut those pods open, scraped out the beans, and made vanilla sugar. So you see the difference between these two. On the right, we have vanilla. On the left, we have bourbon with vanilla pods. It's not really vanilla yet. You're going to wait a bit. Let's see, I like to wait at least a month, if not 2. You can start using it around 3 weeks to a month. But the longer you wait, the stronger your vanilla is. So this vanilla is 2.5 years old, as you saw. The one before that one, I think I used it at the 9 month to 10 month point. And the first one that I used, I think it was only about 2 months old when I used it. Okay, let's go check out our other project. Let's see what's going on with the tallow. Okay, so I turned this heat down all the way to low, and this is where we are, mostly melted. Let me get a towel, 1 sec. I'm afraid that some of the water from the jar will get into my bowl. Like I said, I don't want any water at all. Once you get water into anything like this, whether you're making a cream or a salve or a lotion, anything like that, that's how you introduce bacteria. And we want to avoid that at all costs. So okay, I'm going to pour this in here. All right, so for every cup of, oh, I got a whiff of the tallow. Yeah, it's still pretty mild, but I will tell you that now that it's melted, you can smell it more. I guess that's what people call a beefy smell. It is kind of a, I wouldn't call it beefy, but it definitely has an aroma. Okay, so a pint. So this was about 2 cups of tallow. So for every 2 cups of tallow, you are going to add, okay, so for every 2 cups of tallow, or every 1 cup rather, of tallow, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of a different oil, a liquid oil. And I just realized that I should have only put 1 cup in here because I'm making 2 different things. Let me get a measuring cup. You can see around here, I don't know, can you see? It's getting, as soon as it See up here, it's starting to harden already. So I need to work rather quickly. Oh, tuxedo. Okay, let's put half of this into this measuring cup. Okay, so 1 cup in here and 1 cup in here. 2 different recipes. Ooh, yeah. Let's scrape this down. And I'm going to go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of olive oil to this. I have extra virgin olive oil here. Let's move this out of the way. Oh, I have some of the tallow on my hand and I just rubbed it in and it feels really, really good. Okay, 1/4 cup. And this, what I'm making here is a salve, and I'm doing it for my hands, and I'm going to leave it here in the kitchen so that after I wash the dishes or after I wash my hands, I will use it. So as far as scenting it goes, I was toying between these two. Malama, which is a nurturing blend, and Citrus Bloom, which is a springtime blend. I may not do the Citrus Bloom. It is a floral and citrusy. It has grapefruit and wild orange, but it also has lavender and chamomile, which makes it citrusy and floral. The Malama is more warm. It has a warm smell, and as the nurturing blend, I think I would want that more this time of year. It does have some citrus. It has wild orange in there too, but it has cedarwood, lemongrass, magnolia, which is also floral. It has pepper and it has sandalwood. So yeah, it's more along the lines of what I'm looking for. And because I'm going to be using this, I'm going to put 20 drops. This would be perfect just for hand lotion. So what I'm going to do is pour this in whatever vessel it's going to stay in and let it harden in there. I don't have to do anything else to it. Oh, but what vessel am I putting it in? I skipped that part of my preparations. Okay, I'm going to go look for something and I'll be back. Okay, I found these amber bottles. They were used before. I don't know what I had in them in the past. Well, at least this one was used. I'm not sure about this one. But let's go get this washed. Okay, so I washed those jars and I have them in the oven right now because I want them to be bone dry. And I put my bowl on the stove so that the heat from the oven will keep it from hardening too fast, because I want to be able to pour it into my jar. Okay, as for this one, this is just a straight tallow here, and I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of a liquid oil. And because I'm making this for my face, I am going to add a 1/4 cup of, ooh, do I have a 1/4 cup? I know I can put 1/8 of a cup or more. So, well, 1/8 to a 1/4 of a cup. You have to be exact with recipes like this. Okay. jojoba oil, which is really a wax, is perfect for the face, for the skin, because it is the closest there is to our own body's oils. It's your skin just drinks it up, and it is, oh, where's my spatula? It's yeah, it's very close to our own, to the oils that our body produces, that our face produces. So it's great for the skin. And you know, tallow on its own is great for the skin too. It is very good for the skin, very nourishing, absorbed readily, but it's nice to add something else, because you don't just want to have beef fat on your skin. And when it hardens, it really hardens, so it's hard to use on its own. Okay, so in this recipe I will add frankincense, because everybody knows that frankincense is great for the skin, great for fine lines and wrinkles, helps with cellular regeneration. And I use frankincense on my face almost every day in different blends that I have. Sometimes I use it straight, just frankincense. Okay, so now this one I'm gonna put in, let me smell it first. I'm gonna put a couple more drops. It doesn't really smell like frankincense. Let's stir it in well. That's a little better. So I'm going to put this in my refrigerator to harden. It'll take probably 15 minutes or so, because I'm going to do something a little bit different with this. And I'm going to try and make a cream. And so into the refrigerator this goes. And then I'll come back with the salve, and we'll finish that up. I decided to just put this bowl over my pan that I was using before with water, and turn the water on, kind of use it as a double boiler of sorts. And as you can see, it's melting pretty quickly. As soon as it's fully melted, I will pour into that jar. I'm thinking I have more than that. I will have some left over, and I may need another jar. We'll see. Okay, so I got this poured into a measuring cup, and yep, this is enough for 2. I think I have another small jar. One sec. Okay, the other jar that I found is a canning jar with a wider mouth, and I think it's larger than this jar, so I'm gonna save that one for, oh, let's see if I can get this in without making too much of a mess. I'm gonna save that one for my face, for the cream I'm making for my face. Okay, that worked. This hardens really fast, as you can tell, even with the liquid oil in it. Okay. Done, done, done. I have used some of it already, and it is divine. I can't explain the way it feels. It's like, the smell is great. I love the malama in it. It is, what do I want to say? It's a little on the greasy side. It doesn't stay greasy though. It's greasy when you're putting it on. But it feels, I think silky is maybe what I want to say. It's just like your hand just runs over your skin in such a soft, slick way. I love it. Okay, so I'm going to leave these here. I wish this one was, let me see if I can soften this one, and then hopefully it'll harden. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to worry about it. But you can see what this one looks like when it started to harden, and you can see what this one looks like. I'm just going to put this one on the stove next to a pot of hot water and see if it will melt. Okay, I think I'm going to leave the one that's in the refrigerator in there for another 5 minutes or so, and then I will bring you back and we'll do the next step. Okay, I think it's hard enough. I usually like to wait till my oils and waxes have a kind of a thin shell on top before I start this next step, but let me grab something here. I'm going to add some lavender to this. Just a little bit, because it's so good for the skin as well. It's very soothing. All right, so let's whip this up. I hope, I've never used this this whisk attached to this hand blender, so let's hope it works. Woo! It worked perfectly. Okay, so apparently I have more than can fit in this jar, but I wanted to whip it to have kind of a whipped butter. Hold on. For my face, and that's exactly what I accomplished here. You know what I've noticed is that, remember when I melted the tallow in the bowl? One sec. Remember I said that it smelled, the smell was strong. I've noticed the same thing here. When it is melted, it smells more like tallow with a mild, I don't want to say beefy or meaty, because that's not what it smells like to me, but it's more savory. Let's say that. It's a savory smell. But when it is hard, like my salve here, and now like my whipped butter here, all I smell is the oils that I put in it. I think that's very interesting. Okay, let me see if I can find another small jar. I don't think I have any more, but let me go check. Yay, I found another one of these. It was in the bottom of the box, and it's dirty. So I'm gonna have to wash this and put it in the oven, etc., etc. Good morning. It is the next day, and I just wanted to bring you my first impressions of this salve and the whipped butter that I made. Um, the salve, well, let me show you how much I got. I got one full jar. I want to say that this is 6 ounces. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's about 6 ounces. And then I got almost another full jar. And it is, when you use it, see what it looks like. Can you see that? Yeah. It is solid. It is not um, at all runny. And when you put it on, have you ever used a lotion bar? That's what it reminds me of, kind of like a lotion bar, the way that feels when you put it on your skin. It is really nice and soft. It's smooth. It leaves your skin shiny. I won't say greasy. In my opinion, it's not really greasy. And then that goes away in a little while. Pretty quickly, actually. And as far as the smell, all I smell is the Malama blend that I put in here. And like I said, when I first took it out of the pantry and gave a whiff, there was a mild, almost imperceptible scent of, and I called it a savory scent. It didn't smell like meat to me. So once it's in a solid state, it seems to have the whatever the natural scent is or the scent you put in. So it doesn't, when I melted it, then the smell was a little bit stronger. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so it's beautiful. It's wonderful. I have this one by my sink here, and I'm going to store this one away for later. Now, as far as the whipped version with the frankincense and lavender, all I smell is frankincense and lavender. And you saw me put some on this morning after washing my face. So I got this. This is definitely a 6 ounce. I don't know. I think this is maybe an 8 ounce container, because I think that's how the ball jars come. The little one is 4. I have some of those in use. Then there's 8. Then there's the pint. That's what I believe. And then I got one of these, which is probably, like I said, a 6 ounce. And what I did was I used like this much. I mean, I did not use a lot at all, because I know that, like, just like with coconut oil, once it melts in your hand, you have more than you thought you did. So I didn't want to put too much, and it was just enough for my face, and it felt really great going on, and my face looked a little like my hands did, kind of shiny. I don't want to use the word greasy, because I don't want to give you that impression that it's greasy. Having said that, though, I think that if you used more, like at night when you're going to bed and you're not putting anything on your face, you could probably put more, and it may be a little bit more, there may be a little bit more greasiness. I hate that word, greasiness. Shininess. I don't know. It was on the surface, but not for long. It just went right into my skin, just drank it up, and it felt really nice and smooth. And I think I went back like 2 minutes later and powdered my face. I don't wear like foundation or anything like that, but I was able to powder my face, and it worked just great. It wasn't sticking or anything like that. Yeah, I even put some on my lips, and I like the way that feels. The mister scraped my measuring cup last night and got this much more out, and so I have this by the sink, and I will probably use this up before I start using this one. All right, so thanks for coming along with me on this journey. I think this little bit of experimentation that we did was successful. So I am going to suggest that if you would like to try this and you don't have access, depending on where you live, if you don't have your own tallow, I have heard that people have gone to the grocery store and bought suet and made their own tallow. So check out your grocers. Or if you have a butcher in your area that butchers and sells meat in their butcher shop, see if they have any suet. They're probably not doing anything with it, or they probably can't use all the suet they have. If they're a butcher and they're constantly going through cuts of meat like that, ask them if you can have some of their suet and give it a try. It's kind of exciting to be able to start with something like the tallow, or actually the suet is what I started with, rendered it. We did that together. And then I stored the tallow away till yesterday when I decided to make these two products. All right. I enjoyed our time together so much. Thanks for stopping by the homestead, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.